Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Pittsburgh Philharmonic Podcast. My name is Benjamin May. I'll be your host. I play principal bass in the orchestra, and today I will be interviewing Albert Dong, who is the winner of the Lorraine C. Lippert Young Artist Competition. He'll be performing the Saint-Saëns Cello Concerto at our upcoming concert May 10th, Mother's Day. And I think you're in for a real treat. So, welcome. So, here I am with Albert Dong, the winner of the Lorraine C. Lippert Young Artist Competition. And I'm really happy that he's here. Welcome, Albert.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. My name's Albert Dong. I go to Swickley Academy. I'm a junior, and I'm really honored for this opportunity to get to play with the Pittsburgh Philharmonic.
Well, we're sure happy to have you. You've been a great addition so far. I've been really impressed, even with our rehearsals,
Thank you so much.
watching your level of talent. It's quite impressive. So much kudos to your dedication.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
So my first question: how did you first get into the cello? What drew you to that instrument?
That's a good question. I began playing when I was in second grade, I think, and then I think I started playing because my sister also played an instrument. She played the violin, but I wanted to like choose something different than her. Um, and then I also thought the cello sound was nice, because I don't know, it's a lower register, so I thought maybe it resembled a human voice more, and that's what kind of initially drew me to the cello, and I've stuck with it.
How old were you when you started?
Mm, um, Second grade, so maybe like 8 or 9, I would imagine. Yeah.
So what? How old are you now?
Right now I'm 16 and I turned 17 in July. Yeah.
So basically less than 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, around that range.
That's awesome. And so, okay, my next question would be, how did you come to play the Saint-Saëns?
Good question. I actually played the Saint-Saëns like pretty early on. I think like 5 years ago, has to have been, or 4 years ago. But I decided to revisit it um for this occasion because it's a really exciting piece. It's fun. It's great to play it with the orchestra, and I just thought it would be a really nice occasion, especially to revisit it with an orchestra. I thought it would be super fun and super exciting.
Yeah, it's a great piece. My
Hmm.
mother was actually a concert cellist, so I grew up with
Wow.
cello in my family very deeply.
Mhm. Yeah.
I might even say that in the womb, and if you think about it,
Yeah.
like her
Hmm.
cello was literally like a half an inch from me developing as
Hmm.
a fetus. So I'm pretty sure I got cello sound waves coming at me, from even pre-birth.
Yeah.
So I have a great love
Mhm.
for cello for sure.
Hmm.
Actually, you can see my cello right there hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So, okay,
Great.
cool. That's really awesome. She played the Dvorak Cello Concerto, which I know you
Hmm.
also have played
Right. Yeah.
recently. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's fun.
So about the Saint-Saëns, there's a lot of mood shifts in that particular piece.
Hmm.
How do you think about shaping that when you play it? What goes through your head?
Mm. Um, I don't know. I think so the way Sing Song's written is like the instead of three traditional movements, you kind of wrote it as one continuous idea, and I think uh that goes a lot into the mood shifts because a lot of the themes revisit themselves as they happen in later movements. So yeah, that's kind of how I think of it is one continuous arc, and I try to develop emotions and feelings based on previous ones, and also uh, emerging or like new melodies.
That's a great way to look at it.
Hmm.
So, like, what's the toughest part of it when you're preparing that concerto?
Sure. Toughest part, I would say, um, maybe technique, especially in some of the fast parts, I would say is pretty tough. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're practicing for something like this, what does it look like day to day? What's your,
Hmm.
like a
Good
typical
question.
practice routine for Albert?
Typical practice routine, sure. So I usually warm up for a bit, maybe 15 minutes, and then I practice. Currently, I'm working on three pieces. So it would be the Saint-Saëns here, and then I'm working on Bach cello suite number six, and then also Prokofiev Symphony Concerto. So I would probably go um, maybe 45 minutes, 30 minutes Saint-Saëns because I already know that piece pretty well. I just want to make sure that I have, everything memorized, and then so that I can play everything fluently and then convey all the ideas that I want to. And then maybe 45 to an hour of Bach. Sometimes longer. Sometimes I go longer for Bach and then I don't practice the Prokofiev for that day. But usually 45 minutes, an hour of Bach. And that's really to get the technique down and then to make everything super clean because that's what Bach needs. And then the Prokofiev usually around the same time. Um, and that's yeah, technique and kind of also to convey the ideas because that's a really tough piece when it comes to technique and all that. Yeah.
So, I'm curious for people who have never had that experience before, what's it feel like to be a soloist with an orchestra?
Solos with orchestra is super fun experience because you have like a whole, it's like I don't know, you have a whole wave of sound is backing you. In comparison to like, for example, a piano or something. It kind of seems like you're at the head of like the train, for example, and then you just have all this sound, and then you have to, I don't know, play super loud. And I just think it's a super great experience. It's super fun. Um, yeah, I worked with Pittsburgh Youth Symphony and also you guys, of course, and it's just a super unique experience and super fun. Yeah,
Well, you're handling it exceptionally well.
thank you so
You're
much.
good
Yeah.
under pressure. You really are. Um, so I'm kind of curious. Like, what's it feel like right before you go out onto stage? Like, just those seconds before you walk out.
Mm,
What's going on through your
right.
mind?
Yeah, so usually I'm like pretty well prepared at that point, so I'm not like super nervous at all. If I'm less prepared, then I'm gonna be like the nervous is probably like exponentially increasing. I'm gonna be a lot more nervous if I'm not as well prepared, but usually I'm pretty well prepared and then I know I'm not gonna mess up. So I just think, and also the audience, like most of the audience doesn't know like when you mess up, so that also adds to it. So yeah, usually I'm not that nervous, but it also kind of depends on the situation because if I'm playing for like a master class, for example, then I have to be like super aware of technique and also making sure everything is like super clean and all the ideas come through. So probably will be more nervous for those. Yeah.
Something I wanted to ask you was like, you know, every great cellist, especially a student in growing up, has to have a model of like what perfection looks like. So for me,
Mhm.
growing up, some of the names that I was familiar with would be the Piatigorsky, Rostropovich, maybe Nathaniel Rosen, who's an excellent cellist.
Mhm.
Who are some of your favorite cellists that really inspired you to reach for
Good
your
question.
best?
Yeah. Obviously, I really look up to, I'm very inspired by Yo-Yo Ma, especially like what he's been able to accomplish, Rostropovich as well. Um, and then also like some newer cellists, like Brandon Cho, for example, his technique is like impeccable, right? I it's really something to look up to. And obviously my teacher who's inspired me for, all this time, my past teachers before my current teacher. Um, yeah, all cellists that I look up to.
Well, let's give a shout out to your current teacher.
Sure. So yeah, right now my teacher is Professor Adam Wheel with the Pittsburgh Symphony. And then previous teachers I've had Nicole Myers and Young Aritz.
I see. That's really great. So, my next question, I'm going to branch off a little bit. I did a little bit of research on you, and I noticed that you have a lot of other interests other than
Yeah.
cello. That's just one
Mhm.
small facet of. I went onto your website and I noticed that you wrote a paper on. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
psychedelic. You
So
know,
sure. I can talk a little bit about that. So outside of cello, I do some research. Currently, I'm working on psilocybin research, which is a psychedelic drug at the University of Pittsburgh. And kind of you can probably find a paper, but it's currently getting published right now it's currently under review, I should say. And then yeah, it's about kind of psilocybin's effects on like certain um brain functions. I don't know if should I go like super in detail here or like
I can always edit it, so feel free to elaborate
sure.
if you want.
Sure. So yeah, so we kind of looked at behavioral and also like cellular effects of psilocybin, single psilocybin injection. So we looked at the time course of like cellular activation, so neurons and astrocytes or non-neuronal cells in the nucleus accumbens, um, and also we looked at differential activation. So whether serotonin 2A or 2B would be used to activate either neurons or non-neuronal cells. And then also for the behavioral side, we use the AI-based deep learning model, so essentially machine learning, to train an AI to analyze the different or like different videos to see different behavioral effects of psilocybin injection into the mouse. Yeah.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
That's very admirable what you're doing. I'm just kind of curious too. Is there any overlap ever between your music and
Sure.
your
Yeah,
research?
that's a really good question. So increasingly, since I want to like combine these two interests in like another project or something, and that's actually an emerging field called it's called like neuroscience and like music. A lot of colleges have programs for that as well, and that's kind of examining obviously like kind of what happens in the brain combined with like music. And I've actually created, or I'm in the process of creating a project for this. Um, it's going to be like an app um, probably released in around the next month or so. And it's essentially like kind of combining these two interests because it offers you like well, it's very basic first draft, but it kind of offers you like a practice hour logger and it influences you to practice in this way. But we're actually wanting to add kind of like a system where you put in a piece and then it can tell you like different feelings and then like analyze the actual sound waves and then in order to do that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Look forward to great developments in that.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
it sounds really, really interesting. So I'm just going to kind of wrap up. Where do you see Albert in, let's say, 10 years from now? Are you going to be performing all over the world with orchestras? Or are you going to be a research scientist or maybe something else?
Um, Yeah, good question. I think I'm not really sure right now. I want to see how, kind of my interests develop into college, but for sure I want to do something like in between the two. So like as I said before, maybe combining the fields of music and neuroscience in college, seeing if I can find a program for that, and then seeing because also I have an interest in software development, so perhaps I could find a way to combine all three interests um, and see if I can, perhaps make something to help a lot of people. Yeah.
Your time is very valuable, and I really, really appreciate just taking the time out to talk to me and also to the
Thank you
listeners.
for having me here. It's been a pleasure.
And everyone, come out May 10th, Mother's Day. Come and see this very talented young man. You won't be disappointed, I promise. It's going to be an amazing experience. And if you've never come to a symphony concert before, this is a great one to be your first concert. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to say anything else, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap up.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much for having me, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to perform with the Pittsburgh Philharmonic on May 10th.
Well, we're really honored to have you, and best of luck going forward, and it's going to be a great concert.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
Join us for an unforgettable evening with the Pittsburgh Philharmonic. On Sunday, May 10th, the orchestra takes the stage at the Masonic Center, located at 3579 Masonic Way in Pittsburgh. The program will feature Ralph Vaughan Williams' Symphony No. 5, a deeply expressive and serene masterpiece of the 20th century repertoire. We'll also present the Saint-Saëns Cello Concerto No. 1, performed by the winner of our Young Artist Competition, showcasing the next generation of exceptional talent. And in celebration of new music, the concert will include the world premiere of The Village and the Hero's Last Stand, a powerful new work by the Young Composers Competition winner, Jay Pizak. In addition to the concert, we're proud to continue our commitment to music education through our annual Student Side-by-Side program. Students entering grades 8 through 12 are invited to audition for the opportunity to rehearse and perform alongside members of the Pittsburgh Philharmonic. The audition will take place on May 16th, with applications due by May 10th. We hope you'll join us for this inspiring evening of music and community. Visit our website for tickets and more information.